Welcome to Off the Ranch, back here at Muscle Rod Shop. We have the Cuda here, and Brandon put something in there for a little test fit.
Yeah.
He had a little 12 valve Cummins just sitting around the shop, so he rolled it under there, and it actually fits pretty well. So we definitely are gonna have to cut the firewall because this thing needs to come up about, how far do you think?
Probably about 7 inches.
Top's gonna be about there, so it's just sitting on a little engine stand right now, but it'll be up a lot higher when it actually has everything in there. But lengthwise is better than I was expecting. This is a big engine going in a old muscle car.
Yeah, and as a matter of fact, right now we could probably you could fit a radiator without a fan.
That's close, yeah, if you had an electric fan on there.
Yeah, we'd have to still push it back.
But eventually that'll get pushed back. This will get redone. Today though, we're gonna cut some floors out, right?
Every bit of this floor comes out.
Yep.
And then all around here and the firewall, and then we're gonna drop the whole frame out of it.
And he was marking where the frame is, so you can see we have a frame built into the floor there. This it's kind of sad to cut out these floors because they're nice floors. Like,
somewhat.
It's not all rusted out, but it's not gonna work with what we need it to do because we need to put a 4x4 frame under this thing. So we're gonna get rid of all the stock frame here as well, and then cut all the floors out. I guess we'll just put the frame under here and kind of see what it looks like and then figure it out from there, right?
Yeah, we gotta lift all this up because we want the frame to sit pretty much even with.
We were both talking about how we hate how on a lot of these builds, this build has never been done before, but we've seen a lot of old muscle cars put on 4x4 frames, on Blazer and Bronco frames, and a lot of times you can just see the frame hanging down underneath it because they just did pick up the body, set it on there. We want to try to make it look kind of like it would come from the factory, basically.
Exactly right.
So that's the plan. So we got to cut the whole floor out and redo it though to make that happen. Probably the last time we'll see a Cummins in this thing for a little while, unfortunately. Goodbye 12 valve. Surgery has begun on the car. Now there's a lot of people who are like, don't cut up that Cuda, restore it to factory specs. As you can see, we got a Cuda that is not nice for the one we're gonna actually cut up. So this thing, someone tried to start restoring it a while back, which is why it's all painted primer, but it was a while back and then they stopped, which is why it's rusting through all the primer. As you can see here, holes right there. So we're gonna start cutting the stuff off that we don't need on this car. As you can see, it's missing a bunch. So all the purists out there who are mad at us for chopping up an old Cuda, I'm sorry, but at least we picked one that was not being loved. We picked a Cuda that needed help, and we were gonna give it a lot of help in a big way. There's also some people who are mad about the first gen too, that we're not gonna restore it to be an old first gen. But it didn't have a body. We have literally a first gen frame and engine that doesn't have a body, and we have a Cuda that doesn't have a frame and engine. It's perfect. We're making everything better with this. The trunk pin already had some holes cut out of it when I got the car. Probably because it had rust holes like that really bad right here and all the spots where the water would sit low. As you can see all the little starlights through there where it's sparkling. That's where it rusted clear through the metal. So we are going to end up taking all of this floor pan out and putting a new floor pan back in here. This one should work fine with the normal stock floor pan though, with the new frame we're putting under it. We decided to go ahead and take out that firewall there, a piece of that firewall. Now we're gonna weld in this bracket right here because we're gonna take out so much structural support here that then these sides could move and it could flex. So this will keep it from flexing when all of that sheet metal comes out for the floor right there. Getting wiggly here, still cutting everything out, working on that floor. And of course, this bar is just temporary. Once we get a new floor put in here, that will come out. It's just tack welded in to keep it all from flexing right now. Brandon was just telling me they try to save a lot of stuff. So like this piece, we are not gonna use because this piece we're not gonna use. But like if this thing was in a wreck, which a lot of their cars that they get in, you know, they start life because they're a wrecked car, it would be denim. Actually, this one is A little dented maybe right there, but if it was straight, they'd want to keep it because they would need this, and it's a hard to find part. That shock mount right there, he was saying like they'll cut that out and keep that because they'll use it on one of these other builds if it has a messed up shock mount, if it got hit in a fender or something. So they're cutting all this stuff out in a way that they can reuse it on other cars, part out the stuff that we are not going to need on here. Take the front out. Also has part of the frame where the torsion bars go. As soon as it gets totally loose, it's probably gonna drop out and be wild. Let me wiggle it?
Yeah.
Looks like it's still hooked there a little bit. So there's the front clip. So they're gonna save that. Keep that thing in case any cars get smashed or blown up in the front end. They have this to put them back together. My car won't need it. So this is what she looks like now. Took about a quarter of the body weight out with that thing. We have some doors. You haven't seen these yet either. So they put this stuff all over it to kind of eat the rust away. So it just had a bunch of surface rust, no rust going through. It had some stuff that was worse than that, but this stuff just eats it away, phosphoric acid, and cleans up pretty nice. So the door skins are looking good. They will need some minor body work, but no rust holes through, which is nice. And then the body, there's some parts like this. This is probably one of the worst spots on the body that just rusted through. That'll all need to be redone, but then otherwise just a bunch of surface rust like this. Same thing over here, that stuff will all just come right off. We were looking at the roof, trying to figure out what to do there. A little bit of surface rust there. If you look on the underside, there's a lot of surface rust there. The support, Brandon was saying you're gonna take it out.
We're gonna take that roof support out.
Take that roof support out and straighten it up, because at some point in the last 50 years, someone sat on this roof.
They probably sit their kids on it and do dance classes and all that. Yeah.
So a little dented up. So get this thing out, get it straight, put it back in, and then just try to kill all this rust that's forming in here.
Kill it all.
But overall, it's a pretty good place to start, you think, right?
Not bad.
He's saying he's done a lot worse. So we are going to start tearing this thing apart more, cutting out more of the floor, and then getting everything cleaned up and get it ready to bring the frame in and set it on the frame and then basically just kind of see what it looks like.
Definitely, we're gonna bring the frame in, set the body on, channel it down, and then...
yeah, and so channeling it, what he means is pulling the frame up inside it so it's not hanging down. So that means we're also gonna have to have a bigger tunnel there, which you can see in this car over here. They have a really tall tunnel here. So why do you channel a car like this?
The suspension travel and everything's the same.
Gotcha.
So when you channel it, you know, you're lowering your car without using lowering blocks.
Gotcha.
And then, you know, your suspension still...
So it's so,
you don't lose anything.
So your frame isn't banging on the ground. Your frame's not any lower to the ground, just the body is all lower to the ground, right?
Yeah, exactly right. Okay, so yeah.
Nailed it. I did it. So that's why the frame stays the same, but the body shrinks down around it, which of course makes the tunnel come up higher. It's kind of like a Humvee. That's how a Humvee is.
You know what? Exactly like a Humvee, and that's what we're gonna do this. So that's what I was talking to Tony about, is doing this thing just like a Humvee is, you know?
Yeah.
And that's a great way to put it.
Need to get some portal axles.
Even better.
Yeah, so Humvee has the frame all up really high, and so that's why there's that huge tunnel next to you, because the transmission and the fuel tank and everything is right here next to you, not down below you like it is in normal trucks.
Yeah, that body's just wrapped around the frame.
Yep, so Humvees have a ton of travel, but they're not tall. The Humvee's like this tall or something. It's like 5'10".
It's not lifted, but it's lifted.
But yeah, I can go over everything that a lifted truck can go over. Kind of a reason we're gonna be channeling the frame, but also just for aesthetics, so you don't see that frame, that awkwardly large 4x4 truck frame on this sleek little Cuda body. We're looking at paints now. They've got this cool Charger. How long ago did y'all do that Charger?
That one?
Yeah.
2011.
So they got this Charger. What is this green? This is like the green I think of. What I think of Mopars.
Name color. Dad named it. We're not gonna go.
All right.
We're gonna go there.
So I like that like super bright neon green, kind of like this color. But I don't know. I'm just feeling green. I'm gonna show you greens, but like I'm still open to like anything. Open to suggestions to Militia. So like here's green kind of going a little more gold all the way over to gold, and then like a bronzy copper color. Pretty, I don't know what I'm thinking on this thing. And then this one's kind of like a military green, like kind of like the Humvee, but with a little gold in there. Plus it's got flake, that metal flake in there. This one has a lot of flake in there. It's actually coming across way greener on camera than it is in real life. This is much more yellow and toned down in real life. This one is a bright neon green like that. Anyway, I'm looking for suggestions. What do you think of the greens? Should it be something bright and crazy? Should it be something a little more, you know, like Demolition Ranch, kind of army green colored? Or we've got a lot of other colors to think of. Comment below what you think we should paint this thing. So there's some problems when you try to put dually axle underneath a small, nimble muscle car.
Yeah.
For instance, if we had dually wheels right here,
Yeah, 101 inch.
it goes from there to the outside of the tire. So it would stick out a good tire and a half on each side, right? Which would look silly. So
And that's
12 and a half. So
yeah, that's what 12 and a half inch.
we're looking
wide. And we're going 13 and a half.
we're talking about putting 39-inch, 40-inch tires on this thing, and they're gonna be wide. So, well, we don't want it to look like too dumb. So maybe we shorten that axle and pull them in, but then we gotta tub it like this is a drag car.
Well, it's hard to make all this look good in the first place, but now we're talking about putting 40 by 13 and a half inch.
It'd be a lot simpler if we just made this thing not a dually.
Yeah. No.
But
Yeah.
that's the quitter's way out, and we are not quitters here. No, we're going all the way. God, that's really far. So that's, what'd you say?
9 foot.
About, almost 9 feet.
Well, yeah, with the 13 and a half inch tires, we're gonna be going
So it's gonna stick
really far
out
up.
like 18 inches on both sides of the car. Lots of problems we've already run into before we even started this thing,
Time
but
to tub it up.
we just need to tub this thing. That's all we gotta do. Actually, I wanna do 3 tires on each side.
And
Instead of a dually, it's a triply. Truly. It's a truly. No room for a differential, just all tire across the back. Like a steamroller. Y'all do that?
Yeah, dually wheels up front.
Dually up front. Yeah. This is going really good. We have pretty much decided to do dually wheels. I had a vote. You had you guys vote in the last episode. And it was a toss-up. A lot went this way, a lot went that way. It was like 99.9999999% votes for dually wheels. So I have to figure out a way to make that happen. Why not make it way more difficult and impractical at the same time, you know? Unless you want to tow like a fifth wheel or something, then the dually wheels are going to be really nice. I was just opening some mail from you guys, and I also opened this nice belt from Custer Custom Leather Works. That's a tongue twister. Thanks, dude, appreciate it. And something really cool, someone got me a camera mount for a car. So it sticks to a windshield, and then it's got a little mount. So that I guess I'm not driving and talking. Sorry. It's not the safest thing. I know, but I'm really good at it. And then someone got me this, which I didn't even know this existed. But I break a lot of cameras. This is actually an old broken one. And you wouldn't be able to see it if I put it on this one. So just for purposes of you seeing what it looks like, and me, I haven't actually put this thing on yet. And this will hopefully keep me from breaking cameras. I have these cameras with me all the time, and I drop them a lot. Like, it's tiny, and it's hard to keep your hands on it, but let's see if it works. Oh, that was my good one. Yeah, it's dead. It's totally dead. Let me put a new battery in and see if it actually is dead. Aha! Good to go. Oh yeah, this is the one that's upside down. You'll notice that it flips me upside down. So this one actually is broken, but it still does work. It records, it does everything fine. It records the video right side up, but as you're looking at it, as I'm looking at it filming, everything's upside down, and it is super. I did this for like 2 months where I just filmed like this until I was finally like, why don't I just buy a new camera? I wonder if you drop it enough, if it would, maybe it'll flip it back over. You know, it's worth a shot. Thank you guys for watching this episode. Let me know what you think about all the stuff we are doing with the Cuda, and especially color. I'm trying to figure it out. I'm leaning towards some kind of a green, but I'm not set on it. So let me know. Thanks for watching this episode of Off the Ranch. I love you, and I'll see you next time.
Whoa!
Oh. Hey, what camera is that? Number...
Shut up! Don't tell Mayor.